Perfectly excellent.
Where's Tim? Hello? Am I here? Is this working? Tim entered the studio.
I do not know what just happened there.
Oh, that was good. You got me. That was a good prank. What's going on, party people? And welcome to episode 51 of Perfectly Excellent, the case of the disappearing Tim. You vanished.
I suddenly was just not in the room anymore.
You were not.
Well, that's
you
fine.
did. You pushed the button a little too hard, I think.
A little bit. It happens.
It happens. For those that don't know, Tim, in addition to co-hosting the show, is also the man behind the scene pressing all the buttons. So all the magic. You not only do you press the buttons, you make all the magic, like all the bumpers and everything. So
yeah, I to be honest with you, it's the thing I like most about doing this.
It's the productions.
Well, I'm learning. I'm teaching myself.
Awesome.
I'm very proud that with my meager skill set, I can make stuff that at least is not AI slop.
Yes, I think, and you've come a long way. If we go back and look at episodes, 1, 2, and 3, I imagine they're like just not even close to what you're doing these days.
Yeah, I'm not good at any of it, but I like it and I'm learning.
Awesome, cool. Well, we're here now. We're both here.
We are here,
and we have the combination. Yes,
it is a damn miracle that I am doing this show because I have had my rear end kicked over the last week and a half at work. Oh man, I am absolutely exhausted and just I cannot believe I'm doing this show right now because all I want to do is go sleep.
You're here for the fans. You're dedicated. So
I'm here for Chester Copperpot.
Yes, that's what does it. Now I get it. Yeah, it's like I feel like life has been very grindy lately. So I feel your pain.
Yeah. So, but hey, how are you doing? How's things going on with you?
Things are good. I'm excited to I did something which we're going to talk about in a little bit. I'm also feeling worn out like you are. Same pains.
Yeah.
Did I tell you my theory on summer and like how right now, the kids are off from school. They're on summer break. But you and I are obviously not on summer break. We continue to go to work as most people do.
Correct.
I think that system should change. I think at work you should get summers off, and then you come back to work after summer and you're promoted. Like you graduate work and you go to the next level until you retire.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe.
Yeah,
can I tell you my hot take on summer?
Sure.
I hate the summer. I despise the summer. I cannot wait for summer to be over. I hate the summer. I like the winter. Fall is my favorite, but I'm way more into the winter. I'm okay with spring. I hate the summer.
No, sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
but I get it.
I like that it's light out until 9 o'clock. That part about it, I'm a-okay with. But the warmth, like I am not into the warmth at all.
It's light out until 9 o'clock because you can't go out during the day. You can only go out at 9 o'clock.
It's and living in a house that does not have air conditioning in any room except for one, it's challenging. Like I think I mentioned to you before, it's 87 degrees in the room that I'm in right now. So
yeah, I can see the toys are melting behind you.
I'm a cranky summer boy. Don't like it. Give me the winter.
Yeah.
Give me the winter all day, every day.
Yeah, I made the mistake of walking around the block the other day at work. And it's the first time that I actually came back to work and I checked and I had pit like sweat on my shirt. And that was not a good look. So I'm not going to. But enough about work. Let's talk about fun stuff. And
should we just get right into it then?
Let's exchange some inventions. Let's get right into it. Enough of the small talk.
Perfectly excellent.
Well, like you were saying earlier, I wanted to keep the Invention Exchange thematic to today's episode. And though I'm a week late getting my copy thanks to Amazon, I got, for today's Invention Exchange, my copy of Star Fox for the Switch 2. Now, this is Star Fox 64 yet again. We had Star Fox 64, then we had the 3DS version of Star Fox 64, and now we have the Switch 2 version of Star Fox. No longer 64, though. They ditched the 64. So again, new updated graphics, updated cutscenes, a lot more of your buddy Slippy in there. Yeah, I'm excited to play it. It's like an old sock or whatever that expression is. This is a game that I know very, very well. And
I don't want to know what you're doing with your old socks.
Yes, with my old socks. What is it? An old shoe? An old glove? Isn't there some kind of
an old
it's
friend?
Like a glove? Possibly an old friend. It's good to see him. The new cutscenes are fun. Yeah, that'll be a good like end of the day relaxing type of game to get into play. And I'm excited that it finally showed up after Amazon told me, sorry, we're having problems shipping your copy. But I didn't really care. Not like I had time to play it during the week anyway. So yay. So Star Fox yet again. Everything old is new again.
Everything new is old. Wait, no, that's wrong. I'm sorry.
We're old. We are everything and old.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, that's fun, and you'll be amused here probably as well. I am also going to show off some video game stuff. So you've mentioned a few times that as I've kind of shifted my collecting focus around a little bit, that it's sort of inspired you to like do some other like nostalgic collecting and things like that.
Indeed, it has. You're kind of a jerk for that, but
yeah,
thank you at the same time.
But you are also doing that to me a little bit because you've been talking about some of the older video games that you've been buying and things like that. So while I am not a big gamer and certainly not a big game collector, I decided that I did want to get like my favorite game or two for like the main systems that I played when I was a kid.
Yes.
So that would be ColecoVision, Nintendo, probably Super Nintendo. Those are probably like the big ones for me. Those are the ones that I played the most. So I decided to start with one of my two favorite ColecoVision games, which was Mousetrap.
Oh yes, I am familiar. That's a good one.
It's a game that I love. It's got the little things that go in the controller. So I found one that was, in the box. It was a pretty good price. And I was like, okay, I'll grab that. And then, you know how sometimes you buy something and then something better comes along almost immediately afterwards?
Of course. That's the nature of how it works, right?
Not within days of receiving it, did someone list at an extremely reasonable price a sealed one.
A sealed copy. That's insane.
It has never been opened. So I have decided I needed the sealed one. I bought the sealed one. I'm keeping the cartridge and the doodad out of the other one, and I'm trying to just sell the box and the manual for the other one that I broke. So Mousetrap and Donkey Kong were like the two really big games for me for ColecoVision, and I had to figure out what to do about Donkey Kong because while it exists in a box, like there's almost none of them out there because that was the pack-in game. So it's extraordinarily hard to find a ColecoVision box Donkey Kong. They're like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I have an idea of what I want to do, and I'm kind of pursuing that. So we'll see what happens. But I did also get another one that actually arrived today.
Ooh, do tell.
And we're gonna skip the Nintendo, although I think we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. And we're gonna go to the Super Nintendo, and I think this is gonna make you laugh.
Hey, look at that! That's great.
So this is the Japanese Super Famicom version of Star Fox. And Star Fox is my favorite Super Nintendo game. And it's funny because the memories that I most have of Star Fox are playing it at Sears, like right when it was coming out or right before it was coming out. They had a little kiosk in Sears, and I remember going there and playing this game and being like, this is nuts. Like, this is the craziest game I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, at the time, the graphics just seemed like, this is like watching a movie.
Yeah, so, it's a one of a kind because I've been chasing that type of. They haven't had like an on-rail shooter quite like Star Fox. which
but
is puzzling to me.
It's got the tray, it's got the game, it's got the instructions and all that stuff. Yeah. So I first looked at the actual US Super Nintendo version, and it is stupid expensive.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, definitely. But
I'm like, you know what? This is way cooler. Way cooler. And it's the same game, so this is going to scratch that itch. So I have half of ColecoVision sorted out. I have a Super Nintendo. I don't really need any other Super Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And then I got to piece together a couple other little ones in the middle.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said for the Japanese box art. Like I have a couple Japanese games that I purchased. It just looks so much cooler, in my opinion.
All right, I'm going to go back to the other layout, but you're going to vanish for a second when I do that because I have to re-add you to that. So just hang on for a second. Okay, you're there.
All right, cool.
When we go to the screen share, I'm probably going to have to do that again. So.
That's all right. I'm now that I know what I'm in for, I'm prepared. So, but yeah, very good, very on theme, and that's pretty funny that we both here with the Star Foxes.
Yeah, that was not planned, by the way. I had no idea Alan was going to show a Star Fox,
and that is a negative. And my copy just showed up, so it was perfect timing too.
Yeah. Mine showed up today. I was planning on just showing Mousetrap, and this showed up in the mail today. It wasn't supposed to get here till tomorrow, and I was like, well, why not?
Why not?
Dead for a real long time, as Weird Al
Indeed.
said.
Cool. So we're talking about games.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about too many games?
Let me push a button.
Perfectly excellent.
Do something! Do something! Do something!
All right, let me get you over on the other thing. So, like I said, I'm going to have to add you back.
I'm here.
All right, there you go.
All right, do something. So, yeah, you had a couple weeks of doing things.
And I did do things, yeah.
You did things, and I finally did a thing. And I've been looking forward to this thing for a while, so I'm excited to talk about it. But, yeah, last Saturday, I went to my first ever Too Many Games at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center in Oaks, Pennsylvania.
What you're going to have to do, if I'm going to control the slides, you're going to have to do like the R2-D2 thing to turn the page. So let me know when you want me to slip through to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, we could skip to the next thing. Little background on this show that apparently, unbeknownst to me, but known to many, Too Many Games actually started back in 2004. So this has been happening for quite some time. Though it was originally called the East Coast Gaming Expo, and then they renamed it to Too Many Games in 2007 when it moved and found its current home at the Greater Philly Expo Center.
Is it common for it to be held at a Home Depot?
Yes, it looks very Home Depot, but wait, there's more. I couldn't find accurate attendance for the past couple of years, but in 2024, they said about 25,000 people attended. So it's a thing.
I'm skeptical of that number. That seems like a large number for a Home Depot.
Yeah, and well, I will tell you, and this is something I wanted to talk about. I don't know when a show becomes a con. Like what makes one thing, what makes one event a show versus a con or an expo? Because this was definitely more than a show. Yeah, I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but
well, again, so far all I see is the exterior of a building that looks like a Home Depot. I'm sure as we dive into your story, I'll probably have some more to say. But as far as when is something a show and when is something a convention, honestly, I think it's just I don't really know, because I certainly wouldn't call ToyCon NJ a convention.
Yeah, I think that's a misuse of the con name. Yeah. I think that is definitely
it's a con.
It is a con. Well, yeah, probably save that for another episode. But yeah, this is my first time going. I'm not sure how it got on my radar, but I've been counting down for this one for a while. As you and I were talking about I wanted to curate a small video game collection. So I've been preparing a list, and I've been picking stuff off on eBay, but then I had a list this is going to be my shopping list for Too Many Games. And I've been kind of refining that and updating it. And then I was armed when I made it to the con. When I made it to the con very early, I should add, because I misjudged that the doors open at 11. So
It's kind of late to me. I'm surprised that but I guess it's a convention and not a toy show. So I don't know. It seems late.
Yeah, and I knew better because I'd planned to meet up with a friend of the show, Mr. Adventure Time, and he did call out that it was odd that it started at 11. And I said, yeah, that is weird, but I left around 7. I got there maybe, around 9:15, and I was standing in line for quite some time.
All right.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. If you see in this picture here, to the right is the line for people who have yet to get their badges, and the left was the line for the folks that had badges. And I think I was texting you during this time because I was a little concerned.
Sure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to be standing in that line until 11, and then they were going to let us in to get our badges, and then we would get into the show floor. But my hat is off to the organizers of this con. They knew what they were doing. So they let us in maybe like a quarter after 10. So I really only waited in line for an hour. We got in. It was real easy to get the badges, and then they lined us up for the grand show floor opening up at 11. But it all went really, really smoothly. Everything was super organized, and since I was an idiot and was there way too early, I was one of the first people to get onto the show floor. So I guess win.
Yeah.
Probably more important than that was I was parked basically right where this picture was taken. So that was like,
that is not a shabby parking spot.
No, that was a huge bonus. Like because again, no one was there. Everybody had known more. So yeah,
you did not follow the Clark Griswold parking philosophy.
No. I was not the first one there and the first one to leave. I mean, I might have been one of the first people there, and I had no problem leaving right from the front. It was no issues. But yeah, let's jump to the next slide and let's see what we got here.
All right. I don't know what this is.
I didn't have a really good picture of the show floor, but this was much.
I can confirm.
What's that?
I can confirm.
Yeah, this was a much larger event than I was anticipating. Like there was multiple giant halls. The first one was the vendor room that you walked in, which tons and tons of vendors selling all things video games, surprising or not. Then there was another room that had free play arcade games and free play console games and a wrestling ring of all things. There was a room where people were playing tabletop games, playing Dungeons and Dragons. They had like their celebrity autograph room. Like this was definitely a convention and not a show. Not quite Comic-Con level, but definitely way bigger than any of the other shows that I'd been to outside of Comic-Con.
Cool.
Yeah. So again, just more shots of just like, and again, I don't know if 25,000 people, but there was a ton of people there. I got in early, so I got to walk around a bit as people kept pouring in. And even though like Mr. Dad got there much later than I did, he was on the show floor within minutes after I was. So again, very organized. They got everybody in there, and then it was off to the races, off to the browsing. So let's see. Messed up talk time. Yeah, it's very organized. They even had maps. Oh yeah, here's just some more. I came prepared for waiting in line. I had my TrimUI Brick, which is one of my favorite handheld emulators right now. And let's keep skipping ahead here. This was when they had brought us, after we got our credentials, they brought us over here and they filled up this entire room with people waiting online to get in. And again, very, very organized. Did not need to be there so early. Could have waited till after all this chaos was done because there's no doorbusters that I'm after or anything like that. But it was super orderly, and yep, it was good. It looks
like everyone is sitting on the floor in the back, like they're about to play the largest game of Duck Duck Goose in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they're actually in seats. That's one of the many stages. So I guess they were there prior to us. Those might have been the people that had badges, so they sat them down first because they think they went into the show floor first. But I was row number 2 up against the wall here, and then they just filled in more rows. And then they, again, these guys were trying, they were hyping the crowd up ahead of time. But again, I give them props. Super, super organized. And also, surprisingly, everybody followed the rules. Everybody went where they were told. There was like no issues at all. Very unusual. Like, not what I was expecting.
I think the fellow in that Zelda shirt at the front of your picture, I think that is Killer Carp of YouTube fame, who I bought something from at Shop the Curiosity.
Oh, really?
Pretty sure that's him. Yes.
I have another picture of him because it's not just a Zelda shirt. That's a Zelda, ensemble. He's got Zelda
shorts, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Killer Carp.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, there was a couple people that I recognized there, like Retro Rick, Metal Jesus, just like some gaming YouTubers that I watch. But there was a lot of other people that seemed like they were somebodies that I had no idea who they were.
He's a big Battle Beast collector.
Okay, well, cool. He was standing right there. Yeah. So again, not to scale here, but this gives you an idea of what the size of this was. So Hall A was where all the vendors were. And, you have two equally sized halls in B and C just for all the other shenanigans that were going on. So, yeah, I would definitely give this a con name there.
Yeah. At the bottom there, I thought it said that was the Coldplay meeting area. I was like,
yes,
I didn't know they were there.
Yeah, that definitely was. No, that was, I didn't even see that area. Again, I know there was 2 stages that I saw. Actually, there was 3 that I saw. I think there was more. But yeah, it was big. It was a lot to walk around. I spent the bulk of my time in Hall A just walking around all the vendors because I was there to do some shopping. I had a shopping agenda, but I also I took a break and sat down in the free play to rest my feet, which was nice. I played some Nintendo 64. I played some old original Xbox games, and it was nice to just take a load off. But yeah, some of the interesting things that were there, like, the old, I don't even know what these things were. Like, you have your Pac-Man one. There was Frogger.
I had Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, and I had Galaxian when I was a kid. These are the Coleco tabletop games. At least the Frogger one and the Pac-Man one is. I don't know that Qbert one. I've never seen that Qbert one before, but I don't believe that's one of the Coleco ones. So
no,
I'm
definitely
curious about that.
Does not look like it. These were pretty dirty. Like, these were not looking so good up close. But again, this is just some of the cool stuff that I saw. There was also a vendor selling video game soundtracks, which I am a huge fan of until I looked at the price tags on some of those. I believe that one is $90. So unless, I don't know. I didn't ask if it was yen. Maybe it was in Japanese yen. I should have clarified, but there was a bunch that I looked at that I was interested in, but I put them all back. So
what is the dollar to Mario coin exchange rate at Too Many Games? Like, perhaps it was that currency?
It could have been. And that's one interesting thing about this show is there was zero consistency from one vendor to another vendor when it came to pricing. So you really need to look around. If you remember that there was that one video game vendor at ZoloCon that had some pretty crazy prices.
Yeah.
And they were here as well, and their prices were just way higher than any of the other booths. So it definitely, if you go to Too Many Games, it pays to look around till you find the price that you want.
All right.
So let's see what else we got here. Yeah, like here's an example of some of the insane prices. Now I know video game collecting, like, prices have gone through the roof, but these were ludicrous prices.
Yeah, I don't want to come off as being cheap, but the one I bought for you for your birthday of the Town and Country Surf Design, it was not $330.
Yeah, I hope not.
Get it for less than that.
Yes. Well, I appreciate
$300.
Yes, I appreciate your thrifty shopping, and these prices were nuts. And I think this was that same vendor, possibly from ZoloCon. So hey, it must work for them. But you go to the table right next door, and yes, you could find these games for much, much less. So,
is that TNC one? Is that sealed?
Maybe it is. Maybe that's why it's so much money, but I don't know.
That seems bonkers to me.
It does.
I do know that Lolo 3 is one of the harder ones to get, which is why that Lolo 2 and Lolo 3 are not on my list, although Lolo 1's on my list.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff. So basically all of the vendors in the gaming section, they had their junk bins, which you could dig through, which, you know, were really, really cheap games. And then everybody had their stuff under glass. And I was there to look at the stuff under the glass. You know, I was a highbrow shopping here. None of the junk bins for me. But yeah, these prices were a little too much, as was $90 for a soundtrack. This one I was about to buy, however. This is the Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth 3DS XL, but I missed a dollar sign, or I missed a number in that price tag. I thought this was $199 at first, and I got super, super excited. But no. This is $1,099. So that was a no-go, but that was really, really cool. I would have liked to have had.
Seems like a lot of money.
It is, and unfortunately, something has happened right as I started deciding to pick up some video games. Like the market on this stuff has gone through the roof, especially these old Nintendo consoles like the 3DS and the DS. Prices are just ludicrous. So
it must be very recently, because I sold my DS Lite and I didn't get that much for it. I think I got like $100 for it. It wasn't much.
Yeah, I don't know which ones are the most popular. Maybe it's not the DS, it's the 3DS models. But I know even trying to track down a Game Boy Advance, like that cost me a few bucks to get that. And they were hard to find too. They seem to be selling out.
So yeah. I'm loving this Godzilla game over here. I don't know who makes it, but it looks like one of those old Tiger Electronics games.
Yeah, that was a picture for you there with again, $100 slapped on that. So
I don't like it that much.
No, you definitely, if you're going to go to too many games, like bring money. Lots of it. Yeah. Unless you're content with just going through the budget bins. Yeah. But things are pricey. But there's a lot of cool stuff, you know, a bunch of Nintendo Powers. This one I thought of you. Unfortunately, the backside of this was like tetanus, like all over it. Yeah, like you were going to die if you tried to put this over your lap.
Much like the garbage cans, like I love these trays. Like the funny thing is I had one or maybe two when I was a kid. I don't remember, because like I feel like I had a Pac-Man one, but I don't really remember it looking like this. And I'm pretty sure I had the He-Man one. But I definitely had some of these. And like when I do occasionally see them, I just look at them like, man, these things are so awesome.
Yeah. I had an ET one. Like me and my brother both had ET. And like I ate a lot of TV dinners sitting at that ET tray.
Yeah. I mostly played on mine. Like I used it as like a little table to play with my toys on if we were
cool.
Like in like the living room or something like that.
Cool. Yeah, that was a good one. Now these guys were awesome. They were selling modded Game Boys. So they put in new screens, new IPS displays, which are very, very bright. So you can actually see them, unlike the original Game Boy Advance. They put in rechargeable batteries. They got a USB-C charging port. Like very, very cool stuff. Like I made one of these myself, but theirs looked much better. And they were actually sitting there soldering it right on the floor, making new ones. They would take custom orders. So really, really cool to go just check that out. You know, I always look at these on eBay, on Etsy. They sell them all over the place. They're just they speak to me for some reason.
You like the form factor.
I like the form factor. And,
is this old?
This is old. Yes. I had actually asked the guy at this stand about it, because I just had to know what it was. So yeah, this actually belonged to an Intellivision employee. I guess this was their parking spot. And whatever happened when the office closed, they removed it and took it home. Like you could look at the base of it. It's like completely rusted, and you can see it was just ripped out of the ground. But this was probably my favorite thing that I saw at the show. Just what a really, really cool thing.
How much was
and again, I don't remember how much this was. It was not obtainable. I know it was that. So whatever hundreds of dollars he wanted, you could probably recreate this for much less than it would cost to bring this one home. But it was this was the stuff that I was there for. I wanted to see the weird and the unusual. And there wasn't quite as much of that as I was hoping, but this one stole my heart. This was really neat. Some of the things I saw that I left behind, I did not bring home. You would be proud of me. I was negotiating, I was bartering, but this guy had the two Game & Watch collection, their Club Nintendo offerings in Japan for the DS. Now I had both of these and I had sold them and I was eager to pick them back up, but he would not budge on the price because these were both sealed. And I don't know. I think I guess maybe they were sealed. So that's why he had them marked up as much as they were, but these are easy to be had on eBay and you can have both of them for like probably $70 together. So was not willing to pay whatever 120 for the two, but it was the first thing I left behind. It was neat to see them. And these were the only copies I saw at the show. There may have been others there, but these were the only ones that I actually spotted. Some more things left behind. I have the Majora's Mask Deluxe Edition 3DS on the left there, but I only have the box and the figure. For some reason, I can't find the game anymore. So I thought about getting the whole thing together, but then I realized I really don't need to do that. I can get the game for much cheaper and then complete mine because mine is just lost wherever video games get lost in the house.
Gotcha.
Actually, I wonder if it's in the box. I'll have to go check. Maybe it's actually in there and I just don't know.
That would be highly amusing if you lost it where it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't know why I would have put it back in the box, but I'm going to have to check that out. And then there was a complete copy of the original Legend of Zelda for $180, which if you remember at ZoloCon, what did the guy want? Like 2 something for the waterlogged version?
Yeah. For the one that he found, like someone hid theirs in the top part of the toilet.
Yes, exactly. That one stunk. But this was a really reasonable price. This guy who was right next to the ZoloCon booth with all the crazy prices, he had like really, really good prices. Everything was priced to move. I just didn't go for it because the cartridge in there looked like it had been sitting in the sun for a long time. And the square that's visible was kind of like dull compared to the rest of the cartridge. I probably could have replaced it with another one, but it's all right. I already spent my money at this time, but it was cool to see and a great price. Great for that one. But those two were left behind. Let's see what else we got. Yeah. Again, one of the unusual items was the Zelda Minish Cap display for $2,500. I just, I don't know where I'd put it, so I decided not to get it.
All right, well, that's the end. So do you want to do, I guess we should probably do your pickups.
Yeah, I mean, again, we can chat a little bit more about this too. There was a lot of stuff to look at. Like it was, it took time. You really had to focus because there was just an overwhelming amount of games. Like they do not sell it short when they say too many games. Like there really are just way too many games there. And despite all of that, one of the games on my wish list, I only saw once. And I saw it at this booth and I looked at it and it was right as soon as the show started. Like probably the 3rd or 4th booth I looked at, I saw this game and I walked away thinking like, let me look around. And then I changed my mind. I didn't get past the booth. I turned around and I made the guy an offer and he accepted and I got it. And I'm glad I did because I did not see it again anywhere else at the show. And that is a complete in-box copy of The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap for Game Boy Advance.
Very nice.
Yep. Now, funny enough, like you said before with Star Fox, I originally bought the Japanese version of this. One, because the artwork is way superior than the US version. And 2, because it was way more affordable than the US version. But I didn't feel complete. I felt a hole in my heart. So now I have both, and now I feel like more than complete plus, as you might say. But yeah, I did not see another copy of that at the show, and I'm glad I grabbed it. He had a copy, like a complete in-box copy of Metroid Zero Mission on the Game Boy Advance that I thought about grabbing too, but I went back and that was long gone. So yep, pro tip, you know this, and everyone should know this. If you see it, buy it, because chances are you're not going to see it again. So that was my first pickup. And then my second one, oh my gosh, was this monstrosity over here.
What? Oh.
Yes, this is Borderlands 2 Deluxe Vault Hunter Edition, which I didn't even know what was in this. I saw it behind the glass at someone's table, and I said, hey, you, what's in that? And I have to say at this show, everyone there, the vendors and the people in attendance, were so super nice. Like, I've never been at a show or a con where people were just like this excited about what they had. The vendors, even ones with like games that were $10,000, would be like, hey, do you want to see it? Like, they were all excited to show off the stuff that they had. They were all
that's what it was like at Shop the Curiosity. Like, there was that same like super positive energy that just got really psyched to be there.
Yeah, like one table had like $1,000 Game Boy, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And they're like, oh, do you want to see it? I'm like, no, that's way over my budget. They're like, oh, it's cool. You want to check it out though? Like, it was just like they were wanted to show off their stuff. And this guy,
I wouldn't let you touch any of my $1,000 games.
Exactly, never. But this was behind the glass at someone's booth, and I'm like, hey man, what's in that? He's like, I don't even know. Let's find out. So he took it out, he opened it up, and what sealed the deal for me on this one is the Marcus bobblehead that comes with it. Now, these are collectibles that you can actually find in the game. Yeah. So finding one there felt like I've been groomed to pick these up when I see them. So I did. I made him an offer for this, and he was like, sure, man, let's do it. It has an art book and some other stuff in there too, but I was really just there for the bobblehead. And this was Borderlands 2 was on my list for my gaming museum. So there we go.
I'm liking hearing that you're wheeling and dealing. That's a very important thing at these sort of things. So I feel good. I feel like, again, I'm having a positive influence on you.
Yeah, it's fun, the wheel and dealing. Like, again, that one guy with the DS games, he was just like, but no, nope, no wheel deal. Will not. I'm like, all right, man. Aren't we supposed to? Like, isn't that why we're here?
That's part of the social contract you enter at one of these places.
Exactly. But yeah, like, it was just so amazing how friendly everybody was. Because at these cons and shows, you're always bumping into people too. Like, oh, sorry, excuse me. Everybody's like, oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. So really, really, really cool. That just helped make a much more positive experience. And just being able to look at some of the crazy games that people had. And is it okay if I talk about what I picked up for you? I don't know if you want to keep that.
Well, if it fits in the narrative, like do it when it's appropriate. But yeah, absolutely. Like, I figured that was part of the conversation.
Yeah, 100% fits in, and I got it right here. And it is an awesome copy of RC Pro. And again, this guy had it for a reasonable price. A couple tables over, he had it for someone else had it for 3 times the price. And I asked the guy, because I knew you were interested in it, but you wanted to make sure it was complete. And I'm like, hey, do you mind, can we open this, take a look at it? He's like, yeah, sure, go for it. I'm like, I would never do that. I would never let somebody just open like complete games. But he was so cool. He wasn't even watching me. Like, he was just over talking to other people, and I'm just standing on the other side of his booth, opening a game, like taking everything out. Like that, it was just that kind of a vibe, that kind of environment. So it was so much fun. And then, everything looked great. So, and then made him an offer, and he took it.
And that's the thing. Like, I was very specific about a couple of things that I needed to know. One, it had to have the styrofoam.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, the sleeve had to have the Nintendo logo on it. Like, if either of those things were not there, that would have been a no dice for me. But that is one of the Nintendo games that I just had to have. And the other one is the Adventures of Lolo, which is funny because I didn't have the Adventures of Lolo when I was a kid. My friend Justin, not my brother Justin, my friend Justin, had Adventures of Lolo, and we used to play that at his house all the time. And to this day, I've told you about it all the time. That's one of my favorite Nintendo games. So Adventures of Lolo 1 is on my list. That is my gaming museum for Nintendo. I want RC Pro-Am, and I want Adventures of Lolo 1.
Yep, and I did see that. I sent you the picture of the copy. I think it was like $65 for it.
Yeah, but you said it was a little ratty.
It didn't look great. But I think when I was at that booth and I was looking at it, I ended up talking to the guy about Adventures of Lolo. Like, people were generally excited to talk about games. And I was telling him how you like turned me on to the series and how I started playing it. And then I got to some puzzles where I'm like, there's just no way. This is not possible. This game is broken. Cannot do this. And he was laughing. But then curiously, I saw that that McDonald's game, and I got to go back and see if I
Yeah.
have like a ROM of that, because that would be interesting to check out and take a look at some point. But
So thank you very much for picking that up for me. An extremely, like, I'll say it, like I think it was $30. Like I'm super psyched to get that for $30.
Actually, it was $33.99. It was $34.
Right, but we talked him down to 30.
We did. We wheeled and dealed, and he was like, "Sure, no problem." I think he actually, for some reason, charged me like $29.97 for weird reason. I don't know.
Okay, but I'm very excited to get that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was happy to find that for you. Sadly, I didn't really see anything else off my wish list. At least not at a price point that I wanted to pay. Rock and Roll Racing, yeah, and that's another great one. Tarquin lights them up. I used to love that on the Super Nintendo. I think they released that on the Game Boy Advance as well at some point, but it's one of those games that you have to play with people. It's no fun to play alone. But yeah, there was a dude, I was looking for the first Mega Man Battle Network, and I didn't see any, another Game Boy Advance game. I didn't see any until I got to this one booth, and I was too late. I was like a minute too late. The guy had 2 copies, and there was someone holding both in his hands. And I'm thinking, all right, he's going to put one down, right? Yeah. He's not going to buy both copies. He bought both copies. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, what was going on there? He's like, oh, one had the manual and the other did not. I'm like, that doesn't make any more sense. Like, but that's all right. I'll save that for next time. I know this was a pricey show, which is why I went solo.
It's why I didn't go. Like, I would have absolutely just gone and walked around a vintage video game show. But like, I wasn't looking at paying like $80 to go to a video game convention where I don't really have a ton of interest in the convention part of it. Like, I don't really play new games so much. Like, I've got a couple Switch games, but most of the Switch games I have are like the remastered versions of old games anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not really into the current stuff. It all just seems far too complicated to me. And like, if I had paid $75 to get into that show and bought RC Pro-Am, that makes RC Pro-Am, $105, which then is no longer a good deal in any capacity whatsoever.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, like, you're definitely not wrong there. It was pricey to get in. I think I paid $65 for the ticket for Saturday, or I think you can do like $100 for the 3 days. Like, it is a 3-day event. There's a lot going on there, but like you, there wasn't. And maybe I should have paid more attention to the schedule, but there weren't any panels that I attended. The only thing I really did aside from walking the show floor was play the free to play games, or the whatever free play area. And that was mostly to take a break and just chill out and like sit down for a bit. It was fun though. I had a good time. And then I sanitized my body after touching those controllers, because that's what you do.
Good, you must. You might want to just like remove your hand completely after doing it.
Yep. And then I spent $30 on some chicken tenders, a chicken wrap, pretzel, and a Gatorade.
You could have gotten RC Pro-Am instead.
I could have gotten RC Pro-Am. I think that's what, at the time I was thinking, that's what made this a convention and not a show. Like, if you can overpay for junk food, then I think you're at an expo. I think you're at a convention.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot on the toy front. Like, I was keeping an eye out for that, but it was mostly video games. There was a lot of Pokemon cards. There were some vendors selling, artwork, and I did buy a Mega Man print, which I should have brought down here, but I don't have it. It's like
cool, because it's not like you have a backlog of things to frame or anything like that.
I know, it's going to go right over there in the pile of stuff. It is. I know, it's bad. It's even worse because it was like buy one, get one for $5. So I have 2. I've got the Mega Man schematic one and a Metroid one from this guy. But it really, like, I want to try to make it a point at these things to support un artist as much as I can, because I feel bad for these guys. I don't know how they're doing at the shows, and he looked super bored, and his art was super awesome too. So, yeah. I didn't see AI art. Not that
you should send him a picture of the tube you're going to keep it in for the next.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the artwork. Here goes. I don't think he believed me when I told him at first. I'm like, hey, yeah, I want to come back, but I don't want to carry this around. I'm sure he hears that a lot, but I came back.
Yeah.
But I said I was keeping an eye out to see if there was any AI art there, and I didn't see anything. Not that it might not have been there, but and then what else? Yeah, there was, in addition to the games, the art, the Pokemon cards, there was like random vendors, like T-Mobile had a booth there for reasons.
Yeah, in case you want to play games on your phone.
Yeah, but it was definitely. It varied so much from booth to booth. And I'm guessing a lot of these people must have stores, and that's why. Like, some felt like garage sales. Like, you went to a booth and they just had dirty bins of games, not organized, $5, like all you can carry. And other people had meticulous layouts. And I think they were coming from, they had game stores. I think the guy who didn't want to budge on the DS games has a game store in New York somewhere. So I am told.
So would you go back? Like, was the travel and cost enough to send you back there next year?
Again, travel wasn't too bad. It was right by Valley Forge where we went for ZoloCon. So maybe 15 minutes beyond that, but 15 minutes, like, you leave the highway and drive through like farmland for 15 minutes, to the point where I'm thinking this cannot be right. Like, I cannot be going to the right place. But sure enough, that's where the expo center was. And $65 for a do something. I mean, I was there. I got there a quarter after 9. I don't know what time I left. I was there for a long time, so I feel like I got my money's worth. I had a good time.
Yeah, you are much more of a trooper than I am with that kind of stuff. Like, at my advanced age, like, I feel like a really good show is like a tight 2 to 3 hours. Like, if I'm there more than 3 hours, that feels like just too much for me.
Yeah, but would you have we could have sat down and like chilled? Like, we never get a chance to really do that at any other shows, to like sit down and relax. Here we could have just sat and played some old games for a bit and hung out. You could have watched cosplay wrestling. Like, that might have been something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. There was a lot of voice actors there. There was a lot of, like, if you're really into video games, there was a lot to do. You asked me a question though, if I'd go back. Definitely. I will definitely go back next year, because I had a really good time. I might even stay overnight. Probably not.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we wrap up and move on to now playing, any closing comments? I don't really have any closing questions. You ran through it just fine. I think I got the lay of the land.
Just something interesting that happened this week is Sony announced that they are no longer going to make physical games starting like January 2028. So it'll be real curious to see then what the future holds for conventions like this. Like, that's it. You only can get games up to 2028 and then nothing more. So it's kind of a
then they turn into Michael Knight, a game that does not exist.
Exactly. But
it's funny you mentioned that. I didn't know what prompted this, but when I was going through Instagram, someone posted like this joke post of like the PlayStation 6 convention in 20 years, and it was just some guy standing in an empty warehouse.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like just seeing stacks and stacks of games, and then that's it. They're just no longer going to be making those. I don't know. Maybe it'll take some time, but it's a sad announcement. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like, what's gonna happen to like GameStop and stores like that? I don't know. We'll see.
All right, you want to wrap the show up?
Well, let's wrap the show up. Let's do it.
We got one more button.
Perfectly excellent.
All right, now playing. Second time we're doing this, where we're going to talk about something that we've been enjoying this past week: movies, music, games, TV, anything like that. So
yeah, what are we doing?
I think we both have physical objects this time. So what do you got?
Physical objects. So I have been playing. I've been playing a game. Ooh, yeah. This guy right here. This is Valkyria Chronicles 3.
Right.
Originally released on the PlayStation Portable in 2011. So only released in Japan, not released here in the US, which stinks because they released Valkyria Chronicles 1, 2, and 4. Like, how do you do that? How do you skip 3, which is possibly the best one in the series? But they did it. They did it. They didn't even ask. They just did it. But I have been playing this on my AYN Thor, this guy right over here. I'm actually currently playing it right now, as you can see.
Right.
And about 75 hours into this game. Like I said, the best of the series. And I'm playing it thanks to fans who have done a US translation, which is crazy because this is a very, very story-driven and character-driven game with an immense amount of dialogue. And they've gone in and translated all the Japanese into English, not the voices, just the written, all the text and all the game. And I really appreciate their efforts because I'm so happy to be playing this. I don't know if it's ever going to end though, but 75 hours in, and it's been a heck of a ride. So
this is why, like, what you're describing is one of the main reasons why I don't game modern. Like, I know that's not super modern, but like, there got to a point in video games where they got so long and so complex that it became like work, and I just didn't enjoy like having to invest that much time into something.
No, I get it, and I'm in my advanced age with a very, very short attention span. I'm forcing myself to finish this before I move on to something else, because if I do, I will likely forget how to play it and then never come back to it. But again, this is, I think we talked about this before. It's very similar to Advance Wars, like turn-based military combat game, but just every character in this is unique and has their own story and personality. And it's very, very cool, like cel-shaded anime style. So absolutely one of my favorite series there is. And I'm super psyched to be playing this. And maybe I'll actually finish it this weekend. We'll see. And then I'll start playing some Star Fox.
All right, best of luck.
Yep.
All right. So for me, I'm going to show off a record, one of this year's records. So we've got the new Mrs. Magician record.
What happened? It looked like it looks dirty.
It's not. That's art.
Oh, it looks like it's all worn away.
Oh, it's art. What are you doing? Spiritual Hangover, their third proper full-length album. Mm-hmm. It is wonderful. I actually even like it better than the second one, though I don't like it quite as much as the first one. But that is a very high bar because the first Mrs. Magician record is probably like my favorite record of the last 15 years or so. So, okay. But it's really good. I've been listening to it a bunch since I got it, and that is mine now playing, and probably my favorite record of the year so far.
Awesome, good stuff. I feel like we need to do more pizzazz with this segment. We'll have to figure out how to sample it or something.
Like, I could talk a little bit more about it, but like we're running long. So
we're running long.
It's a great record. I also wrote about it on ibuywaytooManyRecords.com. So if you want to look over there, feel free. It's over there.
You should have a little thing pop up. Do something cool.
But it's a great record. I recommend everyone check it out. It's like surfy to an extent, punky and indie to an extent. Lots of nice big hooks and harmonies. Love it. Great band.
Awesome. Well worthy of the now playing. Enjoy.
Absolutely. But I think that'll probably wrap it up for us. I was psyched to hear about your trip. That sounds like a good time. I'm glad you went. I'm not sure when the next Do Something is going to be. Like I said, I'm eyeing up that one in Gettysburg. I don't know if you're up for a trip in July that far. That's over 3 hours, but that's kind of the one that I'm sort of eyeing up as the next one, because otherwise the next one's not until like September, and that just seems like far too long to me.
Yeah, and I was talking to the guys online, and they, when I was waiting online, not online, let me clarify, and they mentioned, I think it was like Retro Fest, not Retro Con, and then Mag Fest were two other shows. So I'll have to check those out and see. I think Mag Fest is in Connecticut, however, though. So,
well, depending on where it is in Connecticut, it's still within striking distance.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, we'll have to figure out our next Do Something, but I'm glad I did something. It felt good. I needed a break, needed a distraction, and it absolutely hit the mark there. So we'll be back. 2 thumbs up. Good times. You guys are good with music. Would love to hear more. Oh.
Yeah. We got the tunes. We can talk about music. We're talking about these deep dive segments to do someday. Maybe we'll do a Rocket from the Crypt deep dive.
Yeah. I keep thinking of like picking a band, and we each pick our favorite songs or favorite albums, something like that. Because I'd be curious to hear, I'm sure we have slight differences of opinions on like potentially which was their best record. So, okay. Point taken, Manny. Music. We can sing.
No, we're gonna stop because it's too hot in this room, and I must now leave it. So
All right.
I hope everybody has if you're in the United States, have a good long weekend, and if you're not, then have a good short weekend. And if you're somewhere in between, like in the ocean or on the border, good luck.
Stay afloat.
All right. See everybody
See ya.
next time.
See ya.
Perfectly excellent.